picks, and we're going to get through it all tonight. So make sure you're nice and relaxed. Make sure you like the video before even watching the video, because I know that's what you want to do. And make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check out all the other content that I make on here. It's definitely a pretty random and fun place, so I think you'll like something, even if you're not super into basketball. And yeah, let us get started. Righty, ladies and gentlemen, we are here a night after the NBA draft, and we have grades for every pick. These are going to be from Bleacher Report, but you know for a fact I will be giving my own grades as well. And down in the comments, I'd love to know your, biggest winners, biggest losers, player you're most excited to see, team you're most excited to see, what you want to see next. Definitely let me know down in the comments. Thank you so much. I love reading comments. So, yeah. So, with the number 1 overall pick, the Orlando Magic went with, quite honestly, the biggest upset that they could have done, and it was between 3 players. It was Jabari, Chet, and Paolo. And Paolo ended up being the number 1 overall pick in this year's draft, which, obviously, if we're talking about talent-wise, all 3 of the top 3 picks are very equal in talent. Even top 4 picks, you could even say, well, top 5 picks, maybe. You could say are pretty all equal in talent. But man, the idea of Poalo Banchero going actually number 1 was over everyone's head until Woj threw the bomb on us, and yeah, no one believed him. Even until the point till they announced that he was picked was very jaw-dropping in a way, even though again, they're not very different in talent, all 3 of those guys, but we had Poalo Banchero going number 1. They gave that grade of an A for this pick, which, I mean, if you're picking number 1, you're probably always getting an A, because it's going to be arguably one of the best players, so I understand that draft pick, but at least for me, when I think about the Orlando Magic, they already have great ball handlers on that team. If you're even talking about just last season, adding in Franz Wagner, who's a really solid sort of point forward-esque type of player. They, the year prior, drafted Suggs, still Markelle Fultz, Cole Anthony. They have a lot of ball handlers, and I just feel like Banchero's, most value comes when he has the ball in his hands. He can shot great, he can even facilitate pretty well. I think, again, just getting someone like Jabari just would have been a better fit for the team that they have right now. So maybe if they are going in a different direction, maybe they're going to be shipping some players off, sort of changing their scheming. It makes a lot of sense, but as the team is composing, adding in Banchero, he's just another guy who needs the ball in his hands to be super effective to his highest tier of potential, which I feel like Jabari off the ball could have done very well. I would still give this like an A, A-. It's still a great pickup, and I think obviously him being a Blue Devil with the blue makes a lot of sense going to Orlando, but I don't know. I feel okay with it, obviously, but we're going to see how that fits. Second overall pick, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder going with Chet Holmgren, still not picking up Jabari, and this is a grade of an A-. I think this is an A. I mean, this is, it might not be an A of like, oh, I think he's like a great player, he's going to be amazing off rip, yada, yada, yada. It's an A draft pick because he is the biggest swing of the draft, in with the Thunder, who have 18, I think, first-round picks in like the next 7 years. They can take as many swings as they want, and taking a swing on a guy who's 7 foot could be potentially the best shot blocking rim protector in the NBA one day, who can also shoot the ball and maybe even have some sort of skill comparison to a Kevin Durant, you know what I mean? That is insanity. So if he can even pan up to somewhat of that, if he could be a decent, a really good NBA player at a player that height and skill set is a hit. So you got to take that risk. Third pick, Houston Rockets taking out the crazy odd man out with JabariSmith Jr. Which again, it's okay. They definitely need to find a true point guard. I think they need a really good ball facilitator for this team now, with having Jalen Green and Jabari, guys who, yes, can play on the ball. Obviously, Jalen Green can for sure. Jabari, yes, but Banchero can do it that way more, which I think a lot of reasons why a lot of people, including myself, liked the grade of an A. Again, I really would have rather had them switched, but I think it doesn't matter. It's probably, same with Banchero, an A minus ish for me, maybe a little bit less, but still really good. Here we go with the Sacramento Kings, and the Kings for weeks had a trade all over the media. They thought they were going to trade not even down for a draft pick, but trade out of the draft entirely. And then nothing happened. Wow, who would have thought? A lot of hype for a draft that when the best, I guess, pick that was available didn't get moved at all, which is very, caught up in media hype. The NBA fooled us, you could say, and they didn't make a trade. John Collins, Jeremy Grant, Rudy Gobert, I think was even reported at one point in time. Like, it was a lot of things, but nothing happened. They kept the pick, and they went with Keegan Murray, which, holy cow, Keegan Murray, man. Let me say this first. The grade they got was a B, and I understand why it's not an A B plus even. Jeremy Grant, Keegan Murray's ceiling is about as close to his floor as any player in this sort of lottery. He is going to be probably, in my opinion, if I had to bet money, maybe the rookie of the year this year. He is going to be out the gate really solid. But again, De'Aaron Fox, really solid point guard, even a really good point guard most nights, but he's not going to be putting Keegan Murray in spots to make him the best that he can be. That's probably going to be mostly, honestly, Domantas Sabonis' job is to make sure Keegan is in his spots, because that's where Keegan thrives. Keegan Murray isn't a creator. He can create, but he's not like, I remember hearing him, comparing himself to a Chris Middleton. He's definitely not Chris Middleton, but is he a star cornerstone piece for this franchise? Probably not, and that's why a B. Sure, I would maybe give him like a B plus because I'm a little high on Keegan Murray, and like his floor is really good. I think he's gonna be like a 15 and 10 player his entire career, but he might just be a 15 and 10 player his entire career. I don't think he's gonna get anything close or anything more than that, which is good. But like a fourth pick, like you gotta make a really big chance on that. Fifth overall, we have the Detroit Pistons, and guys, I think we all have to admit that the Pistons were the probably biggest winners of draft night. Who would have thought the Detroit Pistons? I think they were the team that got the most, the team that got the most better, the team that got better out of everyone, and they got a lot of value out of each of their picks and all their opportunities. It's looking pretty good over there for the Detroit Pistons. But with the fifth pick, I'm saying that because they got their guy, Jaden Ivey, who reports came out to say that he would maybe even refuse to play for the Sacramento Kings, so maybe that's why the Kings also went with Keegan Murray. But this grade is an A. I would also give this grade an A. It is the best player available, arguably the most talented player in the draft, arguably maybe the best player in the draft at the end of the day, end of the career. He might be the best player. I mean, this guy has just the perfect skill set besides shooting, which is the easiest skill to get in the NBA, is to get better at shooting. He has the skill set to be like the prototypical amazing player in today's NBA is a guard who can score at will, and like today's NBA is so offensive heavy. Like, you look at John Morant, he will be almost a carbon copy of John Morant, and that's a perfect point guard in today's NBA, a la getting better jump shot. So crazy. I'm super excited. You have Cade and Jaden Ivey now in your backcourt. Your backcourt set for the next, 10, 15 years. That's crazy. You have Sadiq Bey. And we'll talk about some other pieces here and there. They just need to find a new starting power forward. And maybe they still do go after the big man, DeAndre, in free agency. With the 6th overall pick, we have the Indiana Pacers taking Benedict Mathurin, who, your boy, I mocked that. I think I was almost trying to I don't know if that was a risky pick, but I kind of had a feeling they would do it, and they did it, which is pretty cool. And I thought that was maybe more of like a risky mock, but again, them not really having a clear-cut small forward, a power forward, even really a shooting guard, because Malcolm Brogdon's always in trade talks now, and Buddy Hield is not really in the future plans either. They kind of are just picking a guy who has very good flexibility, and obviously a starter for this team, no doubt about it, and I think he's going to be a very good contributor right off rip. I think he has the potential to be one of the best two-way players in the NBA a handful of years into the future. Seventh, we have the Portland Trail Blazers, and again, I do apologize, guys. I don't know why I'm apologizing, but, the hype for trades in this draft was crazy, and obviously Portland was the top tier number one. No duh, this pick is getting traded, and they picked at 7, which again, of course, for Portland, you could say I would have more insight on what was going on, and I genuinely think that teams just really either found value way better than what they're going to be able to give up for Portland's 7th pick, because obviously Portland wants veterans, and I'm sure some teams that we're going to talk about and some picks that did get traded just found better value at other places for giving up less, and then also some teams just valued what they had a little bit more, which is totally fine. I obviously understand that. So I also do think that the Jeremy Grant trade really shifted a lot of things, because I do think, quite honestly, maybe again 80% chance that if the Jeremy Grant trade did not go through the night before, I think John Collins trade would have. I think that would have almost 80% chance would have happened. I think that was maybe almost a done deal. But the value of Jeremy Grant for a 2025 Milwaukee first round pick and second round pick swaps is a value you can't get rid of. So again, you either trade the 7th pick for John Collins, you trade for Jeremy Grant for a 2025 Milwaukee first round pick, and you just have to see what value you can get more out of. And I think, again, Collins or Grant, I think Collins is probably, or even maybe yes, the better of the package, but the value of Grant for that is insane. So that's why you take it. So I do think that trade probably would have went down. And yes, the Jeremy Grant trade is really good. It might be one of the best trades you could say in Blazers definitely history in a while. You could say, obviously, Portland traded, Gary Trent Jr. for Norman Powell, and that's kind of like a toss-up trade, but obviously Portland didn't do so well with that. I'm trying to think of actual trades that Portland traded for Jusuf Nurkic, but even then, is Jeremy Grant better than Jusuf Nurkic? You'd probably say yes. This might be the most impactful trade, for a player straight up, maybe since Blazers traded for LaMarcus Aldridge. I don't know. Yeah, did they trade? I think they traded for LaMarcus Aldridge on draft night when they got him, and then they also had Brandon Roy as well. So, it's been probably longer than some people who are watching this video who's been alive since Portland has done a big-time trade like this. So, it's pretty important. The Blazers get a win-now guy without trading their 7th pick, which, by the way, the 7th pick was Shaedon Sharpe. The grade they gave this this pick, was a B. I would probably give it a B+. I think having Sharpe still there just gives it a little extra bump, because obviously Shaedon Sharpe could have gone to the Pistons, they could have gone to the Kings. Obviously with De'Aaron Fox and Shaedon Sharpe as a combo would be amazing. Even, if Malcolm Brogdon was moved for the Pacers, Tyrese Halliburton and Shaedon Sharpe would have been a really good backcourt. So the fact that he was even there, you gotta turn up that grade a little bit. But fit-wise, I understand. I think he can play small forward, maybe in a handful of years. He is 6'6" in shoes. He's about 200 pounds. He has almost a 7-foot wingspan. So he has the body to play in today's small forward area. But it's gonna be a little bit. And maybe he can grow another inch or two before he's done. I think he's only 19. I think maybe not even. So he has some time still even. So I don't know. You just picked the best upside, and the Blazers got maybe the biggest upside player in the draft. And the floor for Shaedon Sharpe could be maybe a Jordan Clarkson type of player where he can just drop, a 15-point, 20-point gain any given night. But that's all he's really gonna do, which is still okay. An off-the-bench 6th man of the year kind of guy would be really good. And the ceiling for Shaedon Sharpe is just, man, Zach LaVine, but a two-way Zach LaVine player. That is insane to think about. Imagine Zach LaVine, but as an elite defender. That's terrifying. So it's a high upswing. The 8th pick, you have the New Orleans Pelicans taking Dyson Daniels with an A- grade. small ball 5 and have CJ, Dyson, Herb, Ingram, and then you have Zion at the 5, which is a terrifying starting 5 in today's NBA. So I think he's good. I think he's definitely more of a really solid contributor. He's going to be really good. Is he going to be a star at his highest potential? Probably not, but he's going to be a entire career great player. I think yes. Again, like a high potential comp would be maybe like Alonzo Ball, which is obviously really good, but again, when you're going back to Portland, could they have used Dyson Daniels this year and be really productive with him? Yes, but again, the upside is just insane. So Dyson is super solid, gonna play really well with this team. An A- grade, probably more of like a B, B+. I feel like he's going to be a very impactful role player for many years and then probably have a really great breakthrough season one of these years. The 9th pick, you have Sochan from Baylor going to the San Antonio Spurs, which was another like, oh, okay, that's interesting type of moment. They gave this grade a C+. It's a C+. It's the lowest grade so far, and the only thing I can really say about this is that they are begging, pleading, praying, wishing upon a star that Sochan does turn out to be the next Draymond Green. He has been comped to Draymond Green since he's even been in school playing for Baylor. He is a very versatile power forward who can, run the court, he can run the floor, he can even run point guard for you. Very amazing defender. I think he's going to be an impactful defender right off rip. The offensive game, extremely, extremely raw. But again, offense is the best skill to gain in the NBA. Shooting is the easiest skill to get nowadays. So, yeah, I guess you could turn into the San Antonio Spurs Draymond Green, which, if you're thinking about it, is freaking terrifying when you already have a guy like Keegan Murray. That's a crazy sort of having duo there. So, man, if he does pan out, he's going to pan out amazing. But if he doesn't, he's going to be another just really good defensive four, which is like good, but like that's not going to be not career franchise changing. I'll probably also give it a C+, but this could be like, an A by, 3, 4, 5 years down the line. He could be again an A steal of the draft, but as of right now, it's a C+. He's just too much of a question mark. 10th pick, Washington Wizards again. A trade was supposed to be made here, and it just didn't happen. Super sucky, but 10th pick, they got Johnny Davis, Mr. Taco Bell himself, out of Wisconsin, with a grade of a B-. And this is a very interesting one because Johnny Davis next to Bradley Beal, that doesn't seem that good. I don't know, maybe they can coexist and play together, but Johnny Davis next to Bradley Beal just doesn't really, ooh or ah. I mean, can they do it? They probably will no matter what, but I don't know. In my opinion, they might just have Johnny Davis come off the bench and be a really good sixth man and then still try to find that future starting point guard next to a Bradley Beal player. I actually had AJ Green here because I feel like that three-point shooting ability would be really great on this team who wants to win now, but going with probably a bench player for however long I guess Bradley Beal wants to stay there, unless Bradley Beal's leaving, then this is a perfect opportunity to give a guy an opportunity like Johnny Davis as much reign as he wants to and really, really get an even better feel of his offensive game, which he had a really good feel in Wisconsin. Can even get better in the NBA. Grade of a B-. I'd probably, again, if this is with Bradley Beal, C+. Without Bradley Beal, a B. So I have two grades for two different possibilities. The 11th pick, Oklahoma City Thunder, which eventually was the Knicks. Yes, the Knicks, the team, again, could have gone with a trade. They did make a trade, yeah. Finally a trade in this draft class, and they traded it for nothing. Well, they traded this pick for 3 future first-round picks, or something like that. It was like OKC in the Oklahoma City Thunder ended up drafting Ousmane Dieng from New Zealand, which, oh my god, the boos this kid got from the New York fans. I just wanted to go up there and give him a nice big hug. Just like, you can do this, man. Go prove them wrong. Like, I felt so bad for him because that is just, I hate when people boo like that. This is a grade of a B. If this were the Knicks, this would probably be like a D plus or something like that, because it doesn't make a lot of sense. But he could pan out to be a great player. But for the Thunder, a B. I mean, with the other players that were still on the board, I'd probably give them like a B minus. I mean, they could have gone with a guy with, maybe some more plain out ready play or something like that. But I get it. They want to just do project guys. Chet's a project. This guy's a project. I don't know why they would do 2 project picks. I would have done it Chet as the project and maybe get a more safer, reliable pick here. But hey, they want to go full project and really give a guy a good chance, and they got that with Dieng. Yes, that does mean the Thunder are picking at 12, and guess what? The Knicks didn't get this pick, which is, everyone thought that the Knicks were just trading down to get some assets back. I thought it was actually going to be for Luke Dort in this pick, which would have been amazing for the Knicks, but nope. Thunder, all in all, got to keep this pick, which is why I think the proposed trade of Dort in 12 to the Blazers didn't happen, because the Knicks swooped in and I don't want to say stole that trade, but like, they came in with, oh, we'll just give you 11 for a bunch of first, and that's it. So the Thunder, obviously being really smart, were just like, oh yeah, we'll just do that. Instead of drafting at 7 and giving up Dort, they just took 11 for nothing. So shout out to the Knicks for stealing that trade away, but that's pretty funny. But at 12 ended up being Jalen Williams, pretty interesting, from Santa Clara. This guy was a projected late first round, maybe even second round guy before the draft. Way, I think probably like right after the college season ended. This dude bumped himself to the number 12 pick from hard work, great work ethic, and showing all of his potential. Big round of applause for Jalen Williams. One of the biggest jumps I've maybe ever seen in draft is, well, the longest time I've been watching basketball. Grade of a B minus. Oh man, I don't know. Again, it's just a really big project guy who is still very raw, which you obviously could probably say for almost everyone in this draft class, and the Thunder have that opportunity to mold them any way they want to. I actually like this maybe a little more. I might give them a B, and I might give the Dieng draft a B minus. I think, again, both the guys, really good upside. I love the motor that Jalen Williams shows in a lot of his clips. Watching some highlights of his, he seems like a perfect Oklahoma City Thunder, super hype, high energy type of player. He is going to be putting in work. He's the type of guy that you are going to be so annoyed that you have to practice with him, because he's going to bring it even in practice, which is great. So I think he's going to be, again, a very solid, probably role player piece his entire career. I don't think he's going to be a starter for them, but he's going to be an amazing player in the NBA, 1,000%. The Detroit Pistons are actually up next with 13th pick. They, I think, traded this pick with, oh god, it was like one of the most confusing trades that I've ever read in my entire life. I felt like I was dying when I was reading this trade, because I couldn't understand what was even happening. But the Detroit Pistons somehow got this pick, trading away, I think, the Milwaukee pick that they got from Portland. So shout out to, the Detroit fans out there. You guys are welcome. And they have Jalen Duren with this pick, which, again, like I was talking about, Detroit, easily the biggest winners of this draft, getting Ivey, the guy that they wanted, and then also pairing him with potentially the center of the future of this team with point in time that this should have happened, and it's finally happening now that the Detroit Pistons have something going on where you can like actually see like, oh, this is a good direction, not just like, okay, what the heck is happening. So big ups to Detroit there. This is a grade of a B plus. I'm gonna give it an A minus. I think Jalen Duren, who was projected to be like a top 10 player going 13th, and then you snag him at 13 by only trading away a future first, is amazing value. So that's an A minus. And we have the 14th pick, which might be the last one I'll talk about. I don't know, I might speed through some other ones, but we have the Cleveland Cavaliers drafting Agbaji, definitely butchering that name, from Kansas. And I think I also mocked this as well because it's an older, more veteran, more play now ready guy on a team that wants to play now, win now, you could say, make the playoffs, and it's a match made in heaven. It's a position of need. They definitely need more wing combo guard type of players. Obviously, them having Isaac Okoro there and like Chet Holmgren, you know what I mean? Like, they need some more sort of small forwards there, and I think he can definitely play there and pretty much start for them right off. I don't know if they wanted to keep Okoro off the bench or not, but I think he's going to be a perfect just slot in player. Going to be super easy to do. So that's a grade of a C minus. Wow. I think I might give a maybe B minus. I mean, of course, they had guys up there like Malachi Bram and AJ Griffin still on the board, but like, dude, like, if you're a team who wants to make the playoffs and this is the guys on the board and this is like a position of need when you're this far late in the lottery, I think you take him. This guy's going to be the Chris Duarte of this draft. He's going to be able to average 15 points off the rip because he is that good. Now, is he going to be an all-star in the future? I'll probably bet all of my money no if I could get some good value out of that, but I don't think it's going to happen. Is he going to be a great contributor right off the rip? Yes. I'll give it, like a B minus. Maybe C plus, maybe. 15th, I'll just go through these very quickly. Mark Williams goes to Charlotte, kind of the next protected bid that they were going to get. Grade of a B plus. I would rather see Duren here. I would rather see Duren teamed up with LaMelo Ball. Maybe that's for selfish reasons. Grade B plus. I'll give B minus. That's just what I see out of it. I don't know. 16th though. What value? AJ Griffin goes to the Atlanta Hawks. That's amazing. That is, they graded an A minus. I think it is also an A minus if he can just don't care about the upside. If he can just stay the exact same player that he is right now, that is a perfect player for the Atlanta Hawks. Like, and then he can still get a better development on defense. He can still, get his legs under him a little bit more and still just get more comfortable. He can still grow as a player. Like, he can turn into the next starter for this team, and he can really, really, really sort of elevate this team again in a couple years. But that is a great upside swing, and surprised he fell that low. Next, the Houston Rockets actually take Tari Eason out of LSU, which that was another very jaw-dropping trade. This a jaw-dropping draft. The pick got a grade of a C. A lot of people had Ty Washington going here at this pick, but Ty Washington actually is still going to the Houston Rockets, but all the way back at pick 29. So Ty fell from like being like a top 15 player to like almost out of the first round, which is insane. But they picked up Tari Eason, who's arguably also the best perimeter defender in this draft class as of right now, but has some great upside. He can even be a starter for this team going into next season. I would actually maybe even like that. Dalen Terry to Chicago, C minus. Ooh, I actually really like Dalen Terry. I've heard some interviews with him. He also did a workout with the Blazers, so I listened to that. I really love how this guy competes, and he always says compete in every interview I've ever heard him. He talks about his competitiveness, and I love that he almost is like a 6'7" Patrick Beverley, but way more upside, which is really good. So I actually don't mind this. I'll give this maybe like a C plus because it is a far reach, but if he can turn into again a 6'7" Patrick Beverley with a jump shot, that's a pretty valuable asset, not gonna lie. But yeah, I'll just ever in NBA history. They get an A-. I will also agree with that as well. Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, this draft was very hyped to be a very eventful draft, and it was to a point, but I think a lot of people just pulled out and went with their own guns, you could say, and trusted their own selves and trusting their drafting ability to not pull the trigger. But I will say, I do think if the Jimmy Grant trade didn't happen, the Blazers will be having John Collins right now, and the Hawks would be having the 7th pick. I do very much believe that. I also think the Blazers would have Dort and 12 if the Knicks just didn't give away 11 for basically free. So, pretty interesting. Let me know if you guys have any takes of good players upsides, things like that. And again, the draft, I mean, there's always busts in these drafts. It's probably, honestly, Shaedon Sharpe is probably going to be the biggest bust in this draft class. I guess you can also let me know what you think the biggest bust is going to be as well. But don't take these grades to heart. I mean, they're just from Bleacher Report, and they're also just from me. Both of them are very irrelevant. It doesn't matter. So just keep that in mind as well. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I cannot wait to be talking more basketball, doing some more 2K rebuilds of these teams now,